Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a pretty big showcase over here for the PlayStation 5 Pro and in the comparison to the PlayStation 5. Now, as you guys probably know, there's meant to be like a really big performance increase, better FPS, better overall looking games, and of course, adding things such as the PSSR and ray tracing. So right now, I'm going to go and showcase up and highlight a few of these different types of examples over here from Alan Wake 2. Bloodborne, Resident Evil 4, and Elden Ring all on the PS5 Pro. And I want to go and show you guys kind of some of the differences and kind of what you're also expecting to as well when it comes to the PS5 Pro. Now, I do want to give you guys also a reminder too as well, there will most likely be more patches as well when it comes to the PS5 Pro, mainly because like whenever it's officially out, we're probably gonna have like a day one patch and of course have more patches over time to optimize stuff. And as well, the big idea of PSSR and machine learning is the more that people have a chance to utilize it and actually let the machine learn, the better it's going to be. So let's go and talk about this and showcase off some of the bigger games out here and react to it as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for our PS5 Pro giveaway on the channel itself. We're getting very close to 69,000 subscribers, which is the goal. So thank you guys all so much for that. Leave a like, your thoughts and comments and everything down below. And of course, make sure you guys do the bonus giveaway entries. We're probably live up on Twitch right now, probably getting drunk in honor of the election. So kind of see how that kind of goes. We'll see. And of course, as well, we also have the affiliates to the PS5 Pros down below. So first and foremost, I want to go give you guys some small kind of performance tests. This is all in regards now to Brazil Pixel, which will have all these links down below to give them a proper official support. Because as you guys know, some people have been getting the PS5 Pros a little bit early, which is where a lot of this information is coming from. So it's always try to give the proper love and attention towards the original folks. But over here, this is like we're going to start off with a few different various tests, such as the Resident Evil 4 over here, where you guys can see a lot of these other various big things. I'll put my camera right in the middle, so you guys can kind of see first and foremost the live feelings of all of these games, where overall you guys can kind of go and see the kind of big difference. You may want to even replay through this a few different times, but one kind of big thing to note over here, if you guys want to look purely at the FPS on the very, very top, right now on the pure PS5 on Resident Evil 4, it actually is running less. It's actually dropping around 10 different frames and not a stable 60 FPS when it comes to that too as well on the resolution mode. Now on top of that too, on the right side of the PS5 Pro also, that might be on the top side, the PS5 Pro itself also does look a little bit better. The overall environments look nicer, the overall colors seem a little bit more immersive on there. We've had a chance to kind of go and look through and see through some of those in the first place. Now some of these are on quietly on like somewhat smaller and shorter side, so we'll kind of go through them as well. But just overall, the frame rate for this one on the high level is just more consistent, and the game itself looks a little bit more better in terms of shadows, ray tracing, and everything else as you kind of go and look through it all. I'm gonna make myself a little bit small over here if you guys don't mind. But as you guys can kind of have a chance to go look through all this stuff, just the environment looks nicer, the coloring looks better, the shadows and lighting effects from actually the fire itself looks a lot nicer, and I myself, especially for this game on a third party, can see the major big difference. As well also in the fact that the FPS is more consistent, which is way nicer for anyone who has a higher hertz monitor, and just overall looks better. Now as well, here's another comparison too as well for the PS5 Pro itself, just showcasing up even more stuff over here in regards to the console itself as a whole, which once again, as I've kind of showcased and highlighted on other various things such as the Resident Evil 2 as well. When it comes to this type of stuff, I'll just put this over here too as well if you guys don't have to like see the little blurring on top of that. But when it comes to all of this, we have a chance to go and see how consistent the frame rate actually is. Now that's over at it's not even running a proper consistent 60 FPS. Surprisingly, we're still seeing a little bit more dips downs over here on the PS5. But of course, even Elden Ring on my PC, which is a few $1,000 PC, was also slogging. But we're also seeing the increased render distance. We're seeing the actual min, which is only 45 FPS too. And this is also, don't forget, there's all the various quality modes too as well, such as the PS5 Pro quality mode. They have like 3 different options for most different games. But we have a chance to go and see that everything is running pretty well. We have a chance to go and see what the games look like. The FPS is still a very consistent over 50, which I still wish was a very solid 60. Although once again, my own PC was having issues even with Elden Ring due to optimization issues and just how much stuff is going on in the game itself as a whole. But I do always want to highlight that the game itself as a baseline on everything on the PS5 Pro should be slightly nicer and slightly better. This also too as well for a higher resolution as we're all watching this stuff on out. And of course, I do kind of like the fact that they keep on going through all the same areas, so we have a pretty consistent look through. Now, this even looks even better. Like for just on the very quick impression, although it is running at a 40 FPS, this is looking great. I'd be almost expecting like a 30 FPS though on a somewhat way higher quality mode, but we also can't even see some of the textures loading on in. I can't go and blindly be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. In comparison to my own PC, which as a 3080 Ti, which at the time was like a $1,500 card, this is running very well. Although it's not running at a consistent 60, and I do want people to always know note this, that it is running at a 45, and depending on the area and how many, foliage and textures are loading, there is a big difference with it. But As you guys can probably even just see off this quick little glance, I can definitely go and see the color difference from everything out here below. Look on the very far right for the best options. While the FPS is on the lower side, as we have ray tracing involved, the game does look a lot nicer. I myself will probably go in right smack dab in the middle, where it seems like it's the best issue. You have like the quality on top of that, but also with ray tracing off. Don't forget, ray tracing is very intensive on your GPU and CPU, which explain the frame outages. Like, this is more of an important one to kind of show that it's not going to be perfect. And we do like the console, and I'm kind of someone who's hyping up the console itself as a whole, but I do want to remind people, and I maybe actually even make a few more videos on that as well to highlight it, that at the end of the day, that's a big issue. At the end of the day, it's not going to be the most perfected console itself out here, and some of these really these kind of more bigger blotches too when it comes to these out here as well. I just want to kind of go and showcase up some of these over here just to show you guys some of the stuff. But anyway, when it comes to the game itself, you can kind of see some of this more consistent frame rate as we're kind of moving around and showcasing the game itself. But some games are also going to be kind of hard locked on 30 FPS, although there may be some more performance boosters when it comes to the consoles themselves as a whole. So as we are looking at all that type of stuff, we do have a chance to go and see that. But either way, when it comes to the PS5 Pro, don't forget, as I just mentioned, there was a PS4 Pro mode that was also meant to kind of just bolster up the overall performance in the console. Not everything is actually being rebuilt for the PS5 or PS5 Pro, although I wish a lot of those would. You can kind of see how some of these backgrounds also are looking a little bit on the shoddier side and not super clean, mainly because that is a PS4 game. But things like the PSSR should be able to go and basically make it a little bit nicer, utilizing AI and machine learning to make it a slightly better experience. Although, once again, if the textures themselves are not fully there, you can't just automatically make up with them. Like, they're basically meant to fill in the blanks, not basically make them happen in the first place. So I just want to highlight that for some of this, there's going to be issues with it. And that's kind of why sometimes you want to showcase up all these other various things out here. This may not be the best one to go and show, because kind of just like, kind of showing the expectations of it. And then maybe I'll put a little bit more on the maybe Alan Wake side over here, which might be a little bit nicer and better to showcase. But when it comes to all these types of different things, I do want to go and make a big notion that there is going to be issues. There's going to be some potential issues. Now, a lot of games are optimized very well and look phenomenal, especially for PS5 games and companies that are trying to make their PS5 Pro work well. But at the same time, look at Elden Ring. Not everything's going to be a 60 FPS, 8K experience. There's going to be some issues with the ray tracing. It's very taxing. There's going to be a lot of issues too as well with shaders and textures. And sometimes games just not properly optimized if they're on their own individualized engine. And as well, as I mentioned for the PS4 version, sometimes there will be issues where the game itself never had these proper textures. The textures in Alan Wake look a lot nicer because they made the game look nice. It's also a PS5 based game versus a Bloodborne that's older. So while you can use PSSR to kind of fill in the blanks and kind of make things better, as I mentioned before, if there is nothing to fill in the blank for, there's still going to be issues with it nonetheless. And that's why I think it's an intriguing thing to kind of go and note. But either way, some of these games over here, even on these higher quality modes and having a chance to showcase up better versions of this, they still run very consistent. Alan Wake has been a very good component of the PS5 Pro and a reason to get a PS5 Pro. This game looks phenomenal. And as well, the frame rate consistency is perfect for a 30 FPS on a quality mode to make sure the quality looks very nice. And as well, as we even saw with, say, Elden Ring, it is still very good. Like, you will not be able to go pull ray traced 4K gaming experiences at 45 FPS on even some of the topper tier PCs, and especially not on the PS5. So as we have a chance to see all these bigger games out here, having a chance to showcase this on up, I myself still do see these individualized details where I can actually see it over here looking nicer, especially in comparison to the PS5 to PS5 Pro. Now, don't forget, these two both look phenomenal. And I do see, like, it's kind of hard to maybe pinpoint. Some people may not see it as well, especially in a YouTube video. But say for the PS5 Pro, I do see things like the foliage looks nicer. The rocks look a little bit more cleaner. The white lighting effects look nicer. And things like the jacket, the hair, just have a little bit more live to it. Reflections as well, these water droplets, like, it basically just the environment itself. But a lot of these things are subtle. And that's why some people may not want to get a PS5 Pro. It may not be worth the extra $300, $400 for the extra improvement in comparison to a PS5, and they may not want it because it might be fine to look over here on this left side and think it's okay. So this, once again, I'm trying to go keep everyone grounded. I think the PS5 Pro is awesome. I love the idea of these ray tracing lighting effects. I think it's cool. But I'm also might be biased because I'm one of those people who are looking for these things, and I enjoy the technological upgrades, and I don't mind spending the money on it. But I also just want to keep everyone grounded to that. While it is a cool game console, and I do know a lot of people have been picking them up with more affiliate links down below. Once again, thank you. A lot of people are excited for it. Always keep your expectations grounded. Now, certain games such as PlayStation Studio games, which will probably have a video on that maybe for tomorrow, will definitely look nicer. And of course, if the game studio puts in the effort, such as say Alan Wake, look, we will see the improvements. But some things like Elden Ring, we haven't seen major quality improvements, and while they may be invested in it partially, they're not going to go gung-ho, like how something maybe like a PlayStation Studios or Alan Wake or other third-party games may or may not go and do. So don't forget, this is still an optional improvement. It's not meant to be this crazy new, brand new experience that we'd get from a PS4 to PS5 or PS5 to PS6, but it's meant to be a good mid-console generation to fill in the blanks. And I myself do see the differences as I've even watching through all these videos. I'm seeing the differences, I'm seeing how they look, and I see the big, like, overall improvements, and I do think the Resident Evil one is probably one of the better ones out there to get to go and showcase on out, because you just saw how it looks a little bit more better, a little bit more nitty-gritty, way better lighting effects, and at the same time, a more consistent frame rate on even just a, I don't know, just nice. It looks good. Like, I can see the improvement phase forward. Some games, maybe not as much. Some games maybe already look really good. Some games already have the baseline details, whatever it might be, but at the end of the day, I have seen the consistencies on it for many other various games, but keep in mind, not every game is going to be perfect. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments. Like, I don't want to be completely like best console ever, because I want to go and kind of give you guys the back and forth on this too as well, and kind of showcase up if things are being tested that there may be small issues on why it could be messed up. But I still think it's good. I think I like it, but I want to be a little bit more always impartial and give sides of both perspectives. So I want to know your thoughts and comments on everything down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Make sure you guys are also sub here, our second channel. If you guys want to hang out on the Twitters and follow those for the bonus giveaway entries and the Twitch, feel free to. And of course, if you guys want to pick up a console, all those affiliate links are linked down below. And I appreciate you guys all very much for watching here in the first place. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow for some more brand new videos.